Hello everybody and welcome back to Tlatoani, where we are currently a bit negative in our finances, and to that end, we should probably consider dropping our wages from 120%. There we go. That should help matters. Excellent. Now we're working on getting some of our royal palaces upgraded over here, and this one here needs access to healthcare. We have a sauna going in right next to it here, so that shouldn't be a major concern. Of course, a lot of our stone is still going into the temple and into our royal palace complex, so that is absolutely something that is in progress. It's gonna take a little while. Enemies are on the march. Okay, they'll arrive from the northwest, allegedly out over here. We may be able to defend them from this wall. Hopefully this wall's long enough for our people to actually get up on and fight from here instead of fighting out here. That would be ideal. We'll see where they actually attack. We've not finished up our wall construction over here. We're waiting on stone for a lot of these locations, and I don't know if I mentioned this at the end of last episode. I may have. But I did drop down our number of stone exports from 240 to 80, so that will hopefully mean that stone is flowing a little bit more regularly here. Now, where's this invasion point? Yeah, that's out over here. Okay, so that sounds great. We're going to put this up on the wall. We're going to rally all of our captains. That's a lot of captains and a lot of troops. We're going to confirm that task, and they're going to hopefully come and stand on the walls or be in the towers. That would be ideal. They should have good cover there, and we should have no real problem dispatching this. It is a large force that's attacking, but that shouldn't be too bad. So we've got people heading out here. We are beginning to man the walls. Beautiful. So it looks like we're positive on axe monies. That is... But we still do need a bunch of stone. We're working on it. Particularly down here, although I do see this porter yard has had some stone. It has now disappeared, so presumably they're moving it out over here. So, let's see how this goes. 2 attacking forces. Okay. Well, we should be able to defend them from our walls easily enough. Hopefully we don't, actually exit the walls. Okay, we're fighting them. Cool. And we're exiting the walls for some reason. Stay on the walls. I don't know why we do this. I really wish we didn't. Everybody just abandons the walls and is just like, oh yeah, we're gonna go fight out here where we have no protection at all. It's very strange. They shouldn't do this, like, at all. Ever. But it looks like we're trading pretty well, so I'm not terribly concerned about this. I think the enemy is going to break very soon here. Yeah, there goes a significant portion of them. It's not all yet, and we've definitely suffered some losses here. There's no doubt about that. Okay. We'll disband our troops then. Enemies have been beaten. Perfect. So that looks good. So we did suffer some losses there, to be sure, but it's not the end of the world. It'll be fine. So at this point, our population needs to come up a little bit further, and poor nutrition is becoming a problem. So I think I want to set up some additional farms out over this way. I'm currently thinking that we could take this road and connect it in right here. And then we could take out a road over this way, and we could put in 4 farms here. Now, this porter yard is not set up to accept anything from that. This one is. We could accept maize and fruit here, but we would not be able to accept chili, so we would do these over to balance. There we go. Excellent. Okay, so at this point, what I'd want to do is I'd want to put in 4 farmers' huts. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then we're going to have these be not entirely maize. This is going to be 16 units of maize here. I'm wondering, we can't put it here, apparently. Right, because this is a hunter's lodge. So this is going to have to go out over here. So that's 14, and then we could put 15, 16, like that. And then fruit trees would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8. Kind of awkward, but it'll work. And then this would be chili beds out over here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's kind of awkward how spread out this is, but these others should be a little bit better. So that seems fine. And then a maze field down over here. So we can put in, that's 12 and that's 16 there. So some of these trees are going to have to be taken out. That's fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the last of these would be, of course, chili beds. So that would be 32 out of 32. That seems fine. So these are going to be a little less awkward out over here. So we'll have this be 16, like so. And then the fruit tree would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And then the chili beds would cover the remainder of this, like that. Perfect. And then, of course, we can take a road around here like this. And that would connect up over this way somewhere. I'm not sure exactly where this would be yet. And then this would be like 16 here. And then we'd do our fruit trees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I actually got this right. That's surprising. And I don't know about this road here. We'd maybe have some gaps here. I'm thinking that this connection would probably be fine here. And then, of course, the rest of this would be chili beds. Like that. So it'd be something like this. That'll get some additional farms online, and should be... Actually, that'll be a lot of additional farms. That's not quite doubling our current food production. It's... That's going to be increasing it by close to 50%. Not quite, like 45, 42, something like that. So that'll be absolutely A-okay for now. And we can see that this guy can come up here and gather from all of these, so that looks perfect. I don't think there's any major problem there right now. So how are we doing on this temple? Well, we're working on it. We need to complete our royal palace as well. As we can see, we are working on that as well. That'll take some time. We're working on getting a lot of stone up there, but it looks like we have a lot of stone in stock right now. In fact, we have a lot of wood in stock. Can we export any additional wood here? This would be exports, or this would not be exports. Okay. So no export of timber here or here. We could build an additional trading post to export additional timber. And honestly, I don't think that's a terrible idea. We can bring this out over here and connect it in up this way. And then from there, we can put in a couple of extra trading posts. So one could go here. This would not fit an additional here. So that's fine. This would go also to, what is this? To Tlatoani? Yes. So this would go to Tlatoani, and we'd be interested in exporting timber, and lots of it. So like 240, and then stone is currently set to tribute for Tlatoani. Let's see if there's anyone else we can export timber to. We could export it to the hinterland. We've had issues with going to the hinterland, though. So maybe these guys. Yeah, we could export 80 stone here. And we could even import some cotton, theoretically. So cotton buds go to the cotton weaver, right? And then the cotton weaver makes it into cotton, which is then used by the armorer. Gotcha. So just directly importing the cotton is probably not ideal. We can bring this stone up to like 120, and then we could have this timber up to like 360. Or even we could bring this stone back down to 80 like the others and have this be at 400 timber. It's a lot, to be sure, but we'll get that going. Some of our forts need more soldiers, and some of our forts lack supplies. I'm not sure which ones that would be. These seem to have all of their recruits. Okay. That might just be because we just had some people die. That's, I think, very likely. Is this road not connected up here? Well, that's awkward. It should be connected. So we'll make sure that hi, pause menu. We'll make sure that that's connected, and that looks good for now. So we're working on getting a lot of this online. That'll take a little bit of time, but that should definitely help matters for us. So we're still waiting on getting this alcove built. That's needing artwork. We do have a mason yard right here. So that seems good, although that is itself lacking artwork to be built. No, it's not. Okay. We're lacking staffing out over here in a number of ways, but we're just waiting for these common homes to come in. They need access to more religion. Well, that will change soon. But the education out over here, I think that makes a lot of sense. This is probably, this is just barely reaching some of these, but I think that building another education site out over here does make a good amount of sense. So that would end up being, where is it? I know it's in here somewhere. Here we go. That would end up being something like this. Do we have a collector out over here? I don't think so. I think we have this collector here. This requires a scenic neighborhood. We could put it in here or potentially down this way. Apparently that's not considered a scenic neighborhood. We could put it in right up over here. And that's what I'm going to do. It's not currently road connected, so we would need to do something like that, and then that would collect, yeah, all of this out over here. That looks good. So we'll get that going. That seems great. And yeah, more education out over here is absolutely necessary. So, and this noble compound is also needing access to education. We need to upgrade our noble compounds. So getting this built is absolutely a useful thing. We have 10 out of 20 of our weapons and 20 out of 80 of our stone to Shaltakan. Okay, seems good. And this stuff down over here is just kind of languishing at this point. We need artwork for this alcove, and this porter yard needs 50 stone. So, I mean, we've got some stone up in this porter yard, and artwork we can't move through porters. So that'll just have to get delivered eventually. This needs artwork. This needs artwork. I think our artwork is definitely being monopolized by our temple right now, is my guess. Does the royal palace require any? It does. So probably that's where our artwork is going, is to our royal palace and to our temple. That's fine. We should be good to go on stone here pretty soon. I want to check the status of this. This hasn't been built yet. I feel like it should be built. But this porter yard does not have any stone in it right now, so that's probably the issue. Okay. So that's fine for now. Checking in on this noble compound, it needs access to more security. We can definitely do something about that. That would be a sentry post somewhere down in this area. So we have a sentry post here. It just doesn't quite reach. It's like one... Where's the connection here? It's right here. Okay. Yeah, this is one square away from reaching. So we can put in another sentry post right down over here, and that'll be absolutely fine. It'll require stone, though, and we're having a hard time getting stone down over here. I'm hoping that if we ever get this porter yard built, that this would solve itself. But we're having a hard time getting stone down through this porter yard. Yeah, we're definitely having a hard time getting stone down here. For the time being, we just have very high demands of stone, and that's fine. We'll get this all finished eventually. So for these farmers' huts, we need timber. There's definitely timber in this porter yard, so that should be okay. That should happen eventually. So let's check in on what we need on the noble compound up here. Maize. I mean, getting this online will help with that. What does this one need? Also maize. Once again, getting our farming down here online will be a big boon on that one. So we're getting these fields dug slowly. And this farmer's hut is now built, so we're certainly getting some of this going. Our imperial levies have been dispatched to Shaltakan. That looks good. Our population needs to come up some more. Our culture needs to come up quite a bit, but the main thing that we need right now is to get our prosperity up. And we need to have our settlement be fully enclosed, which it currently isn't. We're having some issues getting some of our walls built, but hopefully these get done eventually. We're only going to have so many things that we have queued up, right? So this royal palace not making a lot of progress, but it's making a little. It takes a similar amount of time to build as this temple, I think. And they're both a large drain on our resources, so this isn't terribly shocking. Now, these homes over here, they still have more space for commoners. We need collectors here, and there's definitely, I think, a bit of a dearth of people out over here. So I'm thinking that we might want to put in a common home or two right up over here. I was hoping that we'd fit 2 here and then have a road going up this way. Alas, that's not the case, so I think we're going to put in a common home here and here for now. Just the 2, that's okay. What's wrong with this guy? That person is dead. Well, okay then. I'm not sure what killed them. They're at -1 health. Awkward. Well, that's fine. It might have been something to do with food distribution. So, like, if we look at this market, we can see we're pretty consistently at no food in the market. Food is a bit of a luxury for us at this point. And, I mean, we do have these coming online, but it's slow going. They're going to take time. We've definitely been distributing meat around. That's been keeping us going somewhat. But if we look at our granary here, we've got absolutely nothing in the granary other than 4 meat. This market, no food on the market right now. This market out over here, no food. That's all a pretty significant problem. No food up in this market either. So our food is going out as quickly as it's coming in, and I think we have a little bit of a food deficit, which is one of the reasons why I so heavily built these farms, although we may even want to build more at some point. Our Imperial levies have returned from service to Shelticon, that's fine, and this farm only recently came online as well. So that should hopefully be producing more maize. This is producing pretty much only maize, but the fertility over here, not the greatest. So that's understood. We could start farming some of this swamp out over here. So that is a theoretical option. Actually, out here would be the best place to do it. But if we did that, I think we'd have significant problems with our settlement being fully enclosed. So that's the reason why I haven't expanded down there yet. I would have if we didn't have this requirement. So for now, we need to get all of this finished up. So that's going to take a little while for sure. Our city is in debt. Oh, really? Minus 2047. Why is this so much? Hang on, what's going on here? We're importing obsidian, sure. We're importing some clay. Yeah. We're importing salt. This is importing nothing. And this is importing cotton buds. So that's minus 2075 per year. That's insane. So why did that shoot up so much? I did not expect to be in debt right now. Well, we can cut all of our wages. That's definitely not ideal. But we can do that and see where that puts us. We don't want to be in debt on our axe monies. That's for sure. So I don't know where all of this went. If we look at this last year, wages were $26.54. This year they went down. Imports went up. But that doesn't cover the amount of differential here. Our total income went massively down because of exports. This will be because we dropped our amount of stone exports down to 80. Let's bring it back up to 240 then, in these 2 locations. So those stone exports should be fine. That should bring us back up, and we'll raise our wages slowly as we get out of this debt. But that's going to take some time to take effect. I'm 99% sure that that's what happened here. So that's okay. We'll get there. So these homes up over here, they need maize to develop. They'll get that. I mean, they're farmers' huts. They produce maize. They'll be okay on that front. We do need people living in here, so we need to get farmers' jobs here. Eventually, that will happen. We can also start putting in some services out over this direction, like sweepers and stuff, well dippers. Those are probably going to end up being necessary. So we can come down over here. We can put in a... I'm thinking right in this area. We can do a sweeper, a sentry post, and a well dipper right here. Now, there's no education out over here. We're probably not going to get any anytime soon. Unless we wanted to put it in, like, right here, but that feels a little wasteful. I think for the time being, we'll just have this. So as you can see, we're now back to being positive in our axe monies, and that looks great. As far as our overall stone goes, I think we're fine on that front. This is claiming that we're still overall negative, but I don't think that's true. I'm going to bump our wages up to 40% at this point, and we'll see how that feels. We'll continue to raise wages as we can. We want to get the wages at least up to 100%. So we're no longer in debt. That is great. And we've got a lot of stone that's going to be exported here. So that's definitely going to be a whole lot of additional axe monies that come in that way. So that seems good. What's unfortunate, though, is that we've not managed to get any of this going. Now, this tower doesn't have any archers, which is not surprising at all. We may want to consider a singular home up over here. Like that. Our citizens are lacking variety in their diet. Well, at least they're getting food. That's something. But we need to get all of this online out over here, and once this is done, then we can start getting this food flowing up over here, which would be good. We absolutely need to get more food flowing in. That's a big deal. So this well dipper is providing clean water. That's good. This sentry post and sweeper. Okay, levies have been received. Tribute has not been received. That's okay. Some of our workshops are lacking cash. Okay, so we can see we're down to 430 axe monies right now. Okay, so this is a loss of year to date, I think. And the year just ticked over. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on that. So we don't have collectors everywhere out over here, right? This collector is actually able to reach all over here. Service use on this is intensive. So we might want to consider another collector up over this direction. I think that's not a bad idea. So collector is here. We can put that in right about here, and it would be able to reach there. But what about the Royal Palace? Does it need to reach the Royal Palace? I don't know. But if we put this in here, this will definitely reduce the strain of this collector. We can do a similar thing up over this way, where we can put in a collector somewhere around here, although this requires a scenic neighborhood. This is acceptable. I'm wondering about down here. No, so we're going to have to put it in about here then. Kind of an awkward location for it, but it'll do. This is not going to have a collector for the moment. So we don't have a market down here. And a market is probably necessary in this area. So that would be... Where are you, market? Here we go. So a small market right here should do the trick. And then I'm thinking connecting this road together here. Like that. Okay, we've got an additional force of enemies coming in. That's noted. So we'll get this market completed and get all of this online eventually. We don't have the farmers here yet, although we would definitely like to get that going. So down over here, all of these farms are pretty online, except this cottage is actually lacking farmers. It requires cloth to develop. Okay, so that's okay. We might want to consider actually getting another cotton weaver. That's probably not a terrible concept. Another cotton weaver right here. Let's do that for now. And it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we'll deal with these guys, although I should do this because I will not remember next episode. There we go. So they're now on their way over. Let's do it. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.